Hey, all. Continuing my discussion of The Cursed Earth by yours truly. You know, one thing that I do in a number of my books is I talk about consumer culture. I explore it, not didactically, but really through the sense of the characters and their experience of it. And one of the narrative angles of The Cursed Earth is this idea of malevolent forces, indeed folklorific cult forces, using a festival as a means of drawing people in for their own wicked ends. And I won't go into the details of that, but I will say that I was very conscious in the writing of that one of including things like people on their phones, taking selfies, doing pictures, doing social media posts, doing all that kind of stuff, to capture that idea of, it's almost like a found footage story happening in real time. Instead of you finding the footage after the fact, it's kind of proceeding as things are going. And I liked that about that because it added an air of immediacy to the story that I think gave it a certain suspense and a certain vibe, a sense of people walking into a trap without necessarily realizing they're in a trap, or that the trap is sprung. And I like that. It certainly, in terms of influences for me, it's impossible not to be influenced. If you're doing anything that has a folklorific aspect, it's impossible not to be influenced by The Wicker Man. I mean, that's sort of, for me, more than the other influential cinematic efforts with regard to that. That certainly hangs heavy in one's consciousness. But in The Cursed Earth, I definitely explored a lot more with that than just sort of the gotcha for Howie, and where he ends up in Summer Isle, and I'm not going to digress specifically into folk horror yet. I think there's more stuff to talk about. But in terms of cosmic horror, there is, in addition to the sense of again, what I said earlier is the decentering of the human experience in an uncaring universe, there's also the opportunity to have us, in a way, making noise in that noisy void as a way of somehow validating ourselves. It's kind of like if you're at the edge of a precipice, not a precipice, but a cave or cavern, and you call out just to hear the echo. You make noise, bah, ah, 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 and get a sense of scale based on the echo that you're getting back. And I think I explored that a lot in The Cursed Earth. These people who are making a lot of noise as a way of attaining some measure of value in an otherwise seemingly uncaring world. The idea of this fungus festival and people celebrating this commerce of this little town, that it's really it's bait for unsuspecting people to visit this festival in the hopes of just having a good time, and the commercial aspects of it, which I think is a very American kind of way. There's like sun in my eyes here. It's okay. I'll just let the sun hit my forehead and such. But I think that it's a very American thing to try to lean into the commercial aspects of something, even a fungus festival, and express themselves. While if you're a discerning person in this, you'd be wondering and looking around going, what exactly is this all about? And I think the partygoer characters in the story they have like almost no idea what's going on. And they of course are swirling right into the very heart of the maelstrom, of the mushroom maelstrom. And I think that lends an aspect of the cult horrific vibe for the story. So once again, The Cursed Earth I mean, there's a skull on there. It's a Technicolor skull. It's got all those colorful fungi. So, you know, what's not to love? And again, I will speak more about the Cursed Earth in the future because it's a big book, so there's a lot to discuss. But there it is.